on Alternative 97.9 GRD and WGRD.com. I am with Jeremy from A Day to Remember. We're at the Ober Room, man. Jeremy, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Another sold-out show. The last time you were here, I think it was November 2010, sold out. You guys always sell out. I think last night you were in Detroit, right?
Yeah, it was Royal Oak.
Oh, Royal Oak.
Like 40 minutes out.
Yeah, Michigan loves you.
Yeah.
You tweeted earlier this month that Common Courtesy is done.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Oh, not completely done yet.
Well, I mean, we're finished tracking it.
Okay. So it's not mixed and mastered.
Right, we're working on that right now. We actually just got in some test mixes today of like the first single, and we're all bickering about that. So, you know.
Do you have at least a target date for when you want to release the album?
I mean, there's a date that I've heard tossed around in the last week, but I mean, we haven't really set anything in stone to actually release anything yet. But it's going to be as soon as we possibly can. You know, we're doing our best. We're just trying to, you know, we took our time to really make this record as good as it could be in our eyes. And we're going to do the same with the mix. We're going to do the same with the setup. So, I mean, if everybody could be patient with us, I think they'll be very, very happy with what we put out.
Is it pretty much in the same? Is Violence a pretty good reputation overall of the whole album, or is it going to be kind of different types of styles here and there?
All over the place.
All over the place.
Like, to be honest with you, it's our most all over the place record. Mm-hmm. It's pretty exciting for me too, because I don't really know. That's another thing we have to decide. We tracked a lot of songs for it, and we don't know how many we're going to put on the album, so that'll be interesting. It'll be the most songs that we come out the gate with ever, so there's enough. And the reason we did that, well, for one, is because we wrote a ton of songs that we loved, and then the other reason is we wanted to be able to put everything that people wanted from us on the record and make it be something that they're going to really care about, making sure it's a song that, if it's a heavy song, make sure it's a heavy song people are really going to be happy with. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's a huge chunk of our record that's just aimed at those people that are fans of our band. And then we've got pop punk songs. We've got more alternative rock songs. We've actually got even slower songs than we've ever done. We've got an acoustic song. Like, it's everything that's ever been A Day to Remember times 10.
Do you feel like sometimes maybe you risk fragmenting too much when you do that?
We don't worry about it, man. Like, I guess you could maybe, but I don't think about it like that. Like, the reason us doing that and branching out a little bit at a time, but still staying the same as we do it, allows us to do what we do. And I think it's a huge reason why we are the band we are. You know, because with us creatively, it's very helpful because we're not just lumped into this one circle that we can't bust out of without offending people. Like, we can, and we did on this record, branch out in a few songs where it's like, wow, that's really different for them. But at the same time, the other 80% of the album is right up everyone's alley that's ever been in the alley.
So it's still accessible to fans.
It's our way of branching out and doing new things for us. Mm-hmm. And still being who we are at the same time. And there's way more of normal A Day to Remember goodness than there is any of this out there stuff. So that's why we do it.
Now, the nerd part of me is hoping, since you put a Mortal Kombat reference in Second Sucks, and you include a Street Fighter reference in there as well. If I hear Hadouken Fireball, I'll go nuts.
Well, we did not do that. I'll just put that to rest now.
Wow.
That would be nice. Now, too much of a good thing.
Right. I know this little touchy subject, but will this be released on Victory?
We're not sure.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Has that come to an end at all?
No. I mean, it's still being settled. So we'll see what happens here in the next few months.
Now, ideally for bands, every album they become more successful. Thankfully, this happened for A Day to Remember. Have you become more educated on the business aspect of your careers?
Always, man. Like, we've always been really hands-on with everything we do, and to be honest with you, I'm fascinated by everything that's happening around us. I always have been. We just continuously grown, and it's insane. Like, just seeing all these different aspects of the music industry, meeting all these people, and seeing how everything really works when you're a growing band that's actually doing things worldwide. It's crazy, man. We're just small town people, so we're just soaking it all in.
I mean, the buzz term you hear nowadays is 360 marketing, 360 deals, where everyone it's all encompassing. And has that happened a lot with you and with your management and labels and all that stuff?
Well, see, here's what's different about A Day to Remember. Yes, all that stuff is being thrown around right now, but A Day to Remember is a band who doesn't. See, that's one part about everything that's kind of messed up. Like, we heard a lot of people say, like, oh, if you don't put out the record on Victory, you're just going to hop to a major label. It's like, not necessarily, because major labels, like you're saying right now, are pretty much only interested in 360 deals. And a band like A Day to Remember, we have a worldwide fan base. We pretty much draw, anywhere between 1,500 to 4,000 people anywhere we play on the planet. On the planet. We don't need a 360 deal. We don't need your promotion. We don't need whatever you're trying to sell us for getting the huge percentage you'd want from us. A major label has nothing to offer A Day to Remember in that sense. So it's this crazy thing where we kind of grew in the underground scene worldwide. We put in our work traveling the globe, like playing for these people, and it's grown everywhere. So now we're this worldwide force. We're on main stages playing festivals, and we've never even had press in some of these countries. Like, literally, we've never had press, never really had a label presence in anywhere outside of the U.S., and we're just as big everywhere else as we are here. So we don't need major labels.
Right, you just need the internet and
exactly.
YouTube and all that stuff.
If you want to help us put out our album, sure, but it's got to make sense for our fans. It's got to make sense for us. So that's all we're worried about. We just want to make sure that we do things right. We do things in a way that doesn't cheapen what we're trying to do, because at the end of the day, we're just writing music that we want to hear, that we want to play and have a good time with, and I think these kids really connect with that. And that's all we care about. Anybody who's going to try to get involved with our finances when they don't need to, anybody who's going to try to change the way we write songs or tell us you need to go back and write something else, it's like, there's no place in our world for anybody like that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly.
Now going back to the beginning of the band, when you released, and their name was Treason back in 2005, and touring just constantly, nonstop, even now you are. Have you noticed the fan base getting older and those fans still latching on, or have younger fans kind of replaced them?
I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. That's a good question, because I've been noticing it this tour especially. We've been doing these meet and greets that we sold before this tour, so people meet us.
I've been seeing that on Facebook. That's awesome.
It's been awesome so far. We've been playing them like a new song from the record that isn't released, like stuff like that, like stuff that kids can have a moment with us. It's been really cool to see it happen, and just meeting all these people. It's crazy, because every day there's a huge portion of them that come up to us and say, this is my first concert ever. I love your band. First concert. Forget first rock show. First time seeing a band in a big venue. Like, first concert
That's
ever.
the first life experience.
Right, man. Like, that's like something you remember forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get that on a daily basis, and then we get dudes that are like older than I am coming to the shows being like, I love your band, I love what you guys are about, can't wait for the new album. So it's like, it's growing everywhere. Like, the people who have been into us for all these years are still there, still respect us for the most part, and then there's these younger kids too. And what's weird is they all embrace each other. It's not this weird thing where it's like, oh, younger kids are getting into this band, this is lame, I gotta get out of here, because you'd expect that, you know what I mean? But it's a weird thing, man. It's like, just more people are joining the club.
And I feel like, and I agree with you, because I feel like maybe I should start, maybe pop punk isn't really some music I should be listening to, but I can still bust out a TBS record or a brand new album, still sing it word by word. And I'm still old school. I love having
those are great albums, man. Great fucking albums.
But even with what separates me from you, I still love having a physical album and artwork. And when I saw that one photo of the main character of that whole artwork in the hourglass, seeing, I'm assuming, the woman he loves marrying some other dude, I'm like, I get that. That resonates with me.
Fuck yeah.
But as performers, though, can you see yourselves doing this when you're reaching upper 30s, 40s, 50s? Or is that just too far ahead to think about?
No way, man. I think about it all the time. I actually 100% believe we will be. See, which is funny because nobody in a million years would believe that coming from a band like us. But see, they don't see things from our perspective. You're not seeing these people come like having like almost semi-spiritual spiritual experiences with us at these shows, man. Sometimes it's just like you look out at these kids, like they're really connecting some of this stuff. Forget us, forget what these songs mean to us. Like these people connect with these songs on a level that none of us ever prepared for or knew was going to happen. And it's just special, man. And it happened on the last record, it happened on the record before that. It's happened every album we've ever put out. And this one, it's going to be no different. To be honest with you, I think I became a better storyteller on this album. And I'm really, really excited about people hearing it, man.
Nice. Now, you were... Of Mice and Men were opening up for you on this tour, but they missed out on last night and tonight because of some personal issues. Are they coming back on the tour after Orbit Room?
Yeah, we were told they were going to be back playing with us tomorrow, so hopefully that works out.
Yeah. Now, last question. Devil Wears Prada were in Grand Rapids last week, and I talked to Mike before the show, and I mentioned about how he kind of has a version of fans trying to come up to him while he's performing. Do you get worried about your own safety? Because I mean, you have intense shows, and then do you get worried about having a Randy Blythe type situation?
Oh man, Randy! I thought you were going to go in a different direction. Randy, actually, when I saw the video of what happened to Randy, and I'll go on record and say I've done that a million times. Like, and it's never like something you do that's malicious or anything like that. Sometimes a person will be getting on stage and he'll almost hurt somebody else, he'll almost hurt himself, and like they'll go to get to the edge of the stage and you just kind of like, not that you push them, but you almost you put your hand there so a person can feel that you want. It's like almost like a way of telling somebody, come on, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just let's all be safe, let's all have a good time, but you don't have to ruin it for other people. That kind of thing. And that's what made me so sad about that situation, is because I saw him do it the exact way I've done it a million times to people, just guide him off stage, and the guy literally almost went to prison for manslaughter. That's crazy. I've done it a million times, so I'm glad the guy was free and clear of all charges, because anybody who's a front man has had that happen.
Right. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much. A Day to Remember, currently on tour with Of Mice and Men, and hopefully we see Common Courtesy, their new album, later this year. Stay with Camp for Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, 97.9 GRD.